In a world absolutely obsessed with constant display, it's often the most grounded individuals who choose not to perform. They don't feel the need to broadcast their lives or constantly seek attention. And ironically, they often find themselves with more peace, more clarity, and yes, more power than anyone else. If you've ever thought that a quiet presence means insecurity, it's time to reconsider that idea. In fact, the people who intentionally step back from the never-ending social feeds are frequently the most self-assured among us. They're not afraid to be seen. They've simply outgrown the need for it. There are a few powerful reasons behind this approach. First, and perhaps most importantly, they don't need external validation. These are the individuals who aren't compelled to narrate every single step of their journey. They don't wear their entire life story on a public feed for everyone to judge or consume. They don't market their milestones, not because they're ashamed, but because their sense of self is deeply anchored within. Their growth is a sacred, private process. It's not staged for likes or views. They validate themselves in private, for themselves. They're not seeking applause. They're here for their own fulfillment. True confidence, you see, doesn't need external approval. It simply walks into a room quietly and everyone still notices. It's a profound internal knowing. Secondly, these individuals consciously choose to trade constant attention for profound peace. In a culture that so often confuses exposure with genuine connection, they intentionally opt out. They understand that the most meaningful parts of their life don't have to be shared publicly. They refuse to turn their deepest joys into a performance for recognition. They protect their inner peace with the same fierce dedication that others use to protect their public image. They grasp the true cost of constant visibility, and they know that being unseen is a powerful form of control. They don't want to be accessible to everyone, only to those who truly matter in their world. The third powerful insight is this: they're not missing out, they are mastering. Silence is so often mistaken for absence, but for these people, silence is precisely where the real work happens. They're quietly creating their art, building their lives, growing their businesses, and most importantly, recentering themselves. They are intensely focused on who they are becoming, not just who they are showing themselves to be. They're not off the grid in some extreme way. They're just firmly on their own path. Instead of checking in with strangers, they're checking in with themselves. They aren't falling behind. In fact, they're often far ahead because they are doing while others are merely posting. They don't need to update the entire world because they're too busy living in it. Mastery in any field demands undivided attention. It's hard to achieve that when you're constantly seeking external input. Finally, the fourth point, they are lone wolves by choice. This isn't about being antisocial. It's about being energetically discerning. They're not withdrawn, they're wise. They understand the profound impact of handing too many people access to your inner world, to your nervous system, and to your precious attention. So, they choose to lead themselves. They move in silence, they share selectively, and they speak only when it adds genuine value, not just noise. Their privacy is paramount, a firm boundary that protects their energy. This very selective presence is what makes them so potent when they do decide to be seen. True lone wolves don't chase the pack. They meticulously build their own path, their own destiny. So remember, you don't need to be loud to be powerful. You don't need to be public to be profoundly growing in your life. And you certainly don't need to be constantly seen to be someone truly significant in this world. Sometimes the greatest act of power is to quietly disappear and become someone truly great.